Okay, so we're going to have a look at the hardware connections between the computer, the interactive whiteboard and the data projector. These systems are fairly standard between different types of whiteboard, although there might be some variation between makes and models. But the main two connections which you will need to operate the whiteboard are, firstly, a standard VGA connector which comes from the data projector. This is just standard, this isn't exclusive to whiteboard systems, this is just a standard connector for a data projector. And the other connection is a standard USB cable which comes from the whiteboard itself. So here you can see the cable comes down and runs into the whiteboard, and this just plugs into the computer, into one of the USB ports. Be aware that you should have the software already installed and the computer turned on when you make these connections. Some variations, some interactive whiteboards have built-in speakers, in which case they'll have a headphone jack to plug into the headphone socket on the computer. And older boards, particularly older Promethean boards, have their own power supply. So the newer boards like this one take their power directly from the USB port, but older boards have a power lead which you need to also plug into an electrical socket. So, to recap on those cables that you'll need, the first one is a standard VGA connector which connects the data projector to the computer, and you can see the port for that here. If you're using a Mac computer rather than a PC, you'll need an adapter which looks like this. These two connect here, and then this end connects to the port on your Mac. You've probably seen one of these before. I'll just plug this one in to the port on the computer, and it should make a noise to tell me it's connected. There we go. And the other connection that we need is the cable which connects to the whiteboard itself, which is just a standard USB connector, and that just goes into one of these ports here. The third cable that you can see here is just the network cable which is providing internet to the computer. If you're having problems with the computer recognizing the board, or the pen isn't working or something like that, and you can't work out what the problem is, it's always worth trying the USB cable in a different USB port, just in case the initial one was faulty. With Promethean boards, if you're having trouble getting the board to work, the first thing that you should check is that this symbol in the top left-hand corner of the board is lit up. So it should look like this. There, it's processing, and when it turns white, it means that the board has been recognized and it's functioning correctly. If you've checked all the connections and all of them seem to be okay, that includes behind the board itself, in the computer, in any power adapters that might be coming from the whiteboard, and also the data projector. If everything seems to be okay, but you're still having problems getting the board to respond, it's always worth unplugging everything and turning everything off, turning it all back on, and then plugging everything in again. This symbol here on the computer screen is very important in terms of diagnosing any problems you might be having with the whiteboard and getting the whiteboard to respond. It's a small white square which represents the whiteboard, and at the moment it has a red cross through it. This red cross through the white square means that either the board isn't connected, or there's a problem with the version of the software that's installed on the computer. If I plug the USB cable from the board into the computer, you can see that this symbol will change now so that the red cross disappears, and that means that the computer has recognised the hardware. There we go.